Hey guys, what's up? So I want to make this video today to show you how to do an easy transcooler mod on your Lightning. I've seen a couple videos on YouTube. They're similar but not the same. Some of them are way difficult than they need to be. So we're going to be installing a Superduty transcooler. This is the easiest way to install it. A lot of people cut the brackets off and make their own brackets. No need to do all that, just need to modify this a little bit. And I'll post all the part numbers down below on the info description. Okay, so we got our transcooler, our -6 line, our straight fittings, one 45 degree, 2 line adapters, and 2 inverted flare fittings for the cooler. Okay, so now that we have our transcooler, we need to go ahead and straighten this out. This has to be nice and flat so it can reach the other side of the core support. We're going to go ahead and straighten it out with a hammer. And then paint's going to chip off, but we'll go ahead and paint it afterwards. So here we go. So now we got our ends nice and straight on both sides. We're going to go ahead and touch it up with paint, let it dry, and then we'll mount our cooler. Okay, so here's our transcooler. It's nice and dry now. We've straightened out each end and installed our flare fittings. Now we can go ahead and mount it on the truck. Okay, so to mount the transcooler, you're going to have to remove this hood latch support. There's 2 10mm bolts right here. There's 2 at the bottom, one connected to the core support, and then another one connected to this transcooler. We're going to take that old transcooler out, and we're going to cut the lines at the harmonic balancer. And there's 2 8mm bolts that go right here. Once you get those bolts out, this will come right out. Come right up. 2 10s, 2 8s, and then 2 more 10s. You can go ahead and put this to the side. Now that you got the latch out the way, gives you enough room to work in here. The transcooler is going to be mounted right in here. You're going to put 2 self-tappers to hold it up on the top, and then 1 on each side. If your truck does have the heat shield, the air shield, you're going to have to pick up on the bottom of each side to fit the new mountings. Okay, so we have the top 2 bolts mounted. I like to put it right at the end of each little square and self-tap it a little bit low so it's on the pinch weld of the core support. And then it's not in the way of the existing bracket. To put the bottom screws in, your bumper should have a gap right under the headlight and you should be able to see the hole on the old core support. There's no wires behind there, so you don't have to worry about hitting anything with the tap screw. And you will need a good extension. Just to show you exactly how it looks, it's mounted in now. You don't have to remove the bumper because the bolts are right there where we tapped into. See it? There's another one on this side also, right there. And our cooler is nice and in the way of natural airflow. So now that we have the cooler mounted, we need to cut the existing lines and remove them from the vehicle. We're going to start off by removing the transmission cooler, and we're going to cut the lines at the harmonic balancer. So we got our transmission cooler unbolted. There's 3 10mm bolts that hold it up. Once you get it unbolted, you can go ahead and cut these lines off. Where we're going to make our cuts is over here right by the harmonic balancer. You'll have to make the cuts with a brake line tool, and then make sure you clean the lines real good for the compression fittings and pry them down if you have a big lower pulley like this one. This one's a 10-pound lower. Here's our lines coming out of our transmission. So now we're going to go ahead and install our flare fittings, and we'll make our AN lines up to our transcooler. Okay, so I went ahead and pre-made my lines. If you don't know how to do the AN fittings, I'm sure there's a bunch of videos on YouTube how to do that. But in our case, the one with 2 straight fittings is going to go on the passenger side, and this one is end to end is 30 inches long. So if you want to go ahead and use that, you can. You don't have to measure out like I did. And the one that it goes on the driver's side is 40 inches long, and that one has to have the angle. The 45 degree angle is going to go right on the transcooler on this side. We're going to go ahead and install our compression fittings. So pretty much how these work, you throw this over the line first, then you put the compression, and then you screw this on and it'll clamp on the line. You do that to both sides, and then we'll install the lines. Okay, so just to show you, our lines were a little bit rusty, so we hit them with the Scotch-Brite so it can seal properly. If not, we're going to have to cut it back. Yes, I know the belt's not on right, but that's how our compression fittings are going to look. And now we got to put our lines on. So the transcooler install is pretty much done. We rounded our lines already. You can see they're nice and clean. And they go from all the way up there to right down here. I went ahead and zipped them together. This is a sway bar. It's not going to move or shift, so you don't have to worry about it chafing into the wire. And make sure you're not hitting your harmonics or hitting anything else that could be in the way. Alright, so we got our hood support back on. You can see we got a bunch of clearance now. It's not hitting it at all or nothing. And you got about a 1/4 inch of spacing between the bracket and the transcooler. Our lines are in, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so that pretty much concludes our video for today. You can obviously see how easy this is to do. I see a lot of videos you have to remove all this stuff. This one is very plain and simple. You utilize a Ford factory transcooler from the F250 onto the Lightnings, and but that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, and check out our other videos. Thank you.